yes, unfortunately another Harry and Meghan video. But like I said, once we get past the coronation, I really don't think there's going to be that much that keeps Harry and Meghan relevant as far as, the political sphere goes. I mean, yes, they'll probably try to interfere and cause problems. And frankly, I think they are trying to declare themselves king and queen in America, or basically, yeah, in the world, any place that isn't the Commonwealth. So, I mean, like I said, we've seen them all trying to go visit places after tragedies. Even Harry's visiting military bases in America. I mean, to me, that sounds like they're trying to, take the place of the government or undermine. At least they're trying to ceremonially, they are trying to assert themselves as king and queen of America. And that is definitely kind of annoying. I think they should be branded as public nuisance, number one. I mean, we have our own system of government in America, as faulty as that may be, but we certainly do not want goofy celebrities just grabbing the reins of our nation, which they are going to try. Because you see, going through the normal political channels, first of all, they are very unpopular. If they are minus 17, that doesn't sound like they're going to win an election. And plus, even if they were able to be president for 8 years, William's still king for life. So yeah, it just won't do for them. So they're going to have to try to build their empire and be shadow kings and queens of America. So now, I know most of us do not want Harry and Meghan around. But the problem is, in this day and age, they seem to be able. I mean, I guess any social media person or celebrity can declare themselves to be some kind of king or queen or dignitary, and no one could stop them. What are they going to do? They're already rich. They're going to travel to places and make statements. And, I mean, yeah, they won't have any real political power, but they're just basically declaring themselves ruler, unfortunately. And that's something we have to deal with. And that's why I said I'm not making these videos about them just because of gossip, or just because it's funny, or just because I'm waiting for justice. And like I said, we'll get justice in little ways here and there. Like the South Park is a little bit of justice, and the fact that they are below Andrew in popularity, that's a little bit of justice too. But like I said, we are very protective. We Americans are very protective of the Queen and the royal family, and we don't want to see them destroyed. And that's another reason why Harry and Meghan have tanked in their popularity. Because we're dreamers. We admire the British royal family. So we don't want to see it fall apart. And if it would fall apart, then Harry and Meghan's titles would be worth zero. They wouldn't be an internationally protected person at all. They'd have nothing. No diplomatic immunity. Because I mean, just ask whoever is the ex-relatives of the Tsar of Russia, There's plenty of ex-royals in those days. But if it doesn't exist anymore, you have no status. All you have is an empty title to remember it by, a keepsake. So they might just try to overplay their hand. However, there are still lots and lots and lots of royalists and royal family fans, so we are going to have hope that the royal family is going to pull through this. I said, seriously, if we were in medieval times, they would be, trying to establish their own kingdom, amassing their army. In this day and age, it's just more technological, and it's more mental warfare, psychological warfare, and keyboard warfare. And it's been fairly effective, unfortunately. But yes, I mean, we see this happen throughout history, fathers and brothers, King Herod and knocking off his kids, and family members, royals killing each other and trying to be king, trying to be queen. And well, we're glad those days are over. But I mean, this is the modern version of trying to take over the throne, basically. King Charles is in a very delicate position because, yes, it's his family, and also he has the kingdom to think of. And as I was saying, I believe that Harry and Meghan are, they do pose a threat to, obviously, international security for the nations and the military. We have already seen that with the publication of his book. And we've seen them put down the Commonwealth, which is causing distrust. It might cause people to, pull out, people not want to be interested in commonwealths that have been doing a good job and have been fighting racism since before Harry and Meghan were born. But see, they want to put it down just because it's connected with the royal family, and they want to put anything the royal family does down to elevate themselves. So they definitely have the potential to do a ton of damage. So that's why we have to make these videos here on YouTube. And I'm not making any money from them. I'm just after what is right. I want things to settle down, and like I said, I'd like to see justice be served. And don't think that people real high up can't have justice served on them. We've seen plenty fall, plenty rich and famous fall, like Weinstein, Epstein, and piles others. So they definitely can fall. And they have fallen, but they're still chugging along. So now I felt that it was the right thing to do to invite them to the coronation. That much you can say from a family standpoint. It's the right thing to do. And they're trying to diffuse the situation, trying to put out an olive branch, and there's only so much you can do. And like I said, if they didn't accept, then that's on them. However, all this stuff about demands, I don't like the sound of it. And King Charles is in a delicate position here. He wants to set the stage for his reign, and he wants to have a good impression on the people. And at this point, a lot of people were already angry with him for inviting Harry and Meghan. I said, well, I give him the slack there, but I really think he should not give in to their demands. Absolutely not, because he needs to show that he is a strong king and that he's not getting pushed around by these renegade ex-royals. I mean, it's important. I mean, an invitation, okay, that can be family, but all these other things about who's doing what in the procession and who's on the balcony, that is state affairs. And Charles has to, separate the family and the state. Separation of family and state. Indeed. So I believe he should not give in to demands. He invited them. That was enough. The people do not want to see Harry and Meghan, and you know that they are just going to use whatever little bit of, publicity exposure against them, against the family. So I do not believe. I'd say you've got your invitation. You're not getting any special considerations. If you want to stay home, stay home. So that's where I stand on that matter. You can't just keep giving in, because, I mean, if he's going to give in to everything, he might as well just hand them the crown and say, here, Harry and Meghan, let this be your coronation instead of mine, to prove that I'm not racist. So, I mean, obviously, I would think that the king would have the best legal minds, the best advisors in the nation and even the world to help him make these kind of important decisions. And he doesn't need the input of us little YouTubers and news commentators, but we're still going to give our input. But that's where I stand. And so, I mean, I think they're going to come anyway, and they're going to try to get attention. So, call their bluff. You're not getting special considerations. Absolutely, And so no matter what happens, we'll have to continue to follow the saga, but we are hoping that justice will prevail. So what do we think will become of Harry and Meghan after the coronation, now that the royal events are going to be settling down just to average everyday little ribbon-cutting ceremonies, openings, holiday commemorations, birthdays? When things settle down to that point, Harry and Meghan aren't going to be getting much mileage and publicity out of their royal connections. So what will they do? Well, that's why Meghan is working on her blog, because she probably doesn't think she can go back to acting, which is a good thing, but we shall see. Her blog will keep her busy, and it will allow her to use her voice, and I'm sure it will give plenty of material to news commentators and the YouTube commentators to find out why she is so hypocritical and all the strange things she says, you know, trying to merch the kids or something. I mean, that may be the best thing for her to do. Gives her a hobby, her blog, and then she can feel like she's somebody and keeping up with current events. So, like I said, she started off as a blogger, and she has ended her career as a blogger. Oh well, some people just are difficult. But I guess that's why Harry's working hard. You gotta make hay while the sun shines. How long can his stories, you know, retain the public interest? He's fortunate that he's able to get more interest than Andrew. And so, I mean, Andrew can try writing a book, but it's probably not going to go down too well. Like I said, he is old, he's not popular, people don't like him because of the Epstein scandal, so, like I said, but of course, maybe I'm wrong. I was surprised people bought Harry's book, because I guess there's a lot of gullible people, but now that they've read it, and the popularity has sunk below zero, I think that maybe people have gotten Harry out of their system. So, unfortunately for us, and unfortunately I doubt the warning of South Park will be heeded, I'm afraid that after the big royal events are over, and there's not much for them to do, or much reason for them to get in the news, I'm afraid that Harry and Meghan will double, triple, and quadruple down on being constantly in the public eye. They will find a way. Harry will probably turn himself into a news anchor or a talk show host, and maybe Meghan will too. She'll have her blog, but they're going to insist upon being in front of our faces constantly. Not only because they need the money to try to keep up with the lifestyle of the royal family, but because they are, like I said, narcissists, and they're desperate for attention, constant attention. So, yeah, well, I guess everybody who's making a living off of commenting on their hypocrisy and their exploits will be making a good living for the rest of their lives, because I don't think Harry and Meghan are going anyplace. Once they have tasted fame, there's no going back for them. They must be in the public eye. So, what social roles they play remains to be seen. We just need to get through the coronation here, and hopefully that will help the UK to get back to normal, and hopefully give the UK a chance to detox from Harry and Meghan. Detox from Harry and Meghan, that is a good one. Because, I mean, the poor royal family has had a very rough time ever since Brexit, and then, you know, Philip dying, and the Queen dying, we had COVID, we had all these things, and then now we have the coronation, and there's all these events that, you know, were partially tied to the family that, you know, Harry would be expected to attend. And that, you know, has given them more ammunition for their negative stories about the family. But, like I said, hopefully, fortunately, there will be a downtime once the coronation is over, and there won't be much for them to say about the royal family, because life will be going back to normal, and we're all hoping to detox. I mean, yeah, the rest of the world, America and the rest of the world, probably is not going to get a chance to detox from Harry and Meghan, but maybe the UK will get a break, since they had all these big events with the royal family in the last few years, and they just need some quiet, peace and quiet. All right, folks. So yeah, I know I don't bring great news. We don't see them going away anytime soon, or disappearing into the sunset, or retiring to their private island without the internet. But we can hope. We can hope they will retire to a private island with no internet. All right. Thank you for watching. And if you have any other comments, what do you think? Do you think they're going to show up? Or do you think they won't come if they don't get their demands? Or do you think they'll come anyway? I think they'd come anyway because we know them, the way they are. Okay. And I think Meghan has plenty of guts, and she'll show up, even though it's going to be hostile. All right. Like I said, leave your comments below, and we'll talk to you later. Let freedom ring.